So I called a friend who's a professor at the Harvard Business School, because you want to call somebody who's like a legit nerd to ask these questions, right? And she's really good with data and math, and she's brilliant. And I said, look, we think we're missing like 130-something thousand votes. What do you think? And she said, well, it depends. Where did they come from? And I thought, oh, we haven't looked at that. That's very interesting, right? Because if it's something that's a fluke, the ballot design was poor, there was a programming glitch, but it, in theory, would affect every county more or less the same, right? But what we found is that's actually not what happened. So this is, again, the 2014 midterms, just to give you a sense of what it should look like. Every single bubble represents a county. In fact, all the way over here on the right, that's Clayton. The two big bubbles to the left of it are Fulton and DeKalb. You can see Cobb and Gwinnett kind of in the middle as big bubbles. And as you move to the right, the county is more Democratic. This is the drop-off between governor and lieutenant governor in the 2014 midterm. And you'll notice all the bubbles are within those two solid black lines. That's a 2% range, 2%, right? And you'll notice the curve is essentially flat, because it should be. This is what it should look like. Do you guys want to see what it looked like in my race? The answer is yes. All right, let's go to the next one. This snow globe is my race. Yeah, this isn't normal either. So what we see here is out of 159 counties, there's only one that is still in that normal range of 2%. It's Bartow County, by the way. I'm going to be up in Cartersville doing the same presentation right after this, so I'm sure that's going to get a big round of applause. Bartow was the only one literally even in the range of normal. And does anybody notice, so not only are they not bunched up the way they should be, right, a high degree of anomalous behavior, and not only are all of them out of the normal range except one out of 159 counties, does anybody notice the shape of the curve, that line that goes down? Remember how our curve before was effectively flat and horizontal? Yeah, no, this is steep, see it? That's not normal either. What that tells us is that this anomaly comes almost exclusively from Democratic counties. Yeah, it's a little suspicious, right? It is. And it turns out that this anomaly only affected the Democratic candidate, zero impact on my opponent. It only affected the Democratic candidate in heavily Democratic counties. Wow.